It's been a little over a week since we had our second tsunami warning in 2 years. Today we're sitting down with Mayor Alan Arakawa to talk about tsunami preparation and awareness. Are you ready? We're lucky enough to be sitting here with Mayor Alan Arakawa. And the first question I want to ask is, what happened to your eye? Have you been out there battling, being a superhero for the county of Maui?
I was actually sitting at my desk, and you know how I always get attacked by the newspaper reporters? Well, it wasn't the reporter this time. The newspaper came up, and I actually just, when I was turning the page, it scratched me right across the eyeball, and so I have to wear this patch for a day or so until it heals itself.
So we're here to talk about the recent tsunami events that happened a little over a week ago. Now, is this the first tsunami warning that you've had to go through as mayor?
Actually, this is my second term as mayor. During my first term, we had several tsunami events and emergency events that we had to work with. In this particular term, we've also had 2 incidences with heavy flooding. So we're very familiar with how to activate the emergency centers and what the civil defense system is. Let's go through from the time I was notified in this particular case to how we set it up. I was making a presentation at the Makawao Community Association. My managing director called me and said there was a major earthquake in Japan, there's a major tsunami occurring, and that we should be prepared for it because it was 8.8, 8.9 on the Richter scale. So realizing the magnitude of it, what we did was we agreed, start the EOC now. In that first 30 seconds, I also instructed him, have all of our emergency personnel, our essential personnel from the county to report back to work. In other words, we're calling everybody back. Any vehicles that we have, move them out of the tsunami inundation zone, make sure every county vehicle was topped off, we had fuel. Make sure that all of our lift stations, all of our generators, all were topped off and we had fuel in those stations. And to start the assembly of all of our essential equipment in the critical areas throughout the county. We were stationing backhoes and bulldozers in the anticipated areas where we're going to need help had a tsunami occurred, and it did, where they would be needed to be located to be able to react immediately to cleanup. When we have incidents like the flooding, we bring in a certain number of people that are affiliated more with that kind of a situation. In the case of a tsunami, we bring in well over 40 different agencies from throughout the county. So it's an accumulation of a huge task force that's reacting. We immediately had the police also start the process of evaluating how they were going to inform people about the evacuations. And the media was alerted. About every half an hour, media was given information on updates on what was happening. The Coast Guard and the Navy were informed that we wanted to make sure that all vessels were taken out of the harbor. So all of the large vessels were removed from the harbor area.
It was pretty intense. You know, we didn't know exactly what was going to happen, but we figured we better be ready, better be safe than not. And you can see some of the damage down here for some of the boats that didn't go out. We could see a lot of the debris that had been busted off from in here actually floating out into the roadstead. So we knew there was quite a bit of damage. And then we got some reports from some people that, yeah, some of the dock had been busted off. And this guy over here, I don't think he lives here, but you can see some of the damage where the boat actually got pushed up on the dock and set right back down continuously, so it busted the dock right away. Thank God the water line didn't break, and it could have been a lot worse. And nobody got hurt. That was the main thing.
We want to thank everybody that did pay attention, was sane, kept everybody else safe. And we also want to ask everybody's help in reporting any destruction that occurred to civil defense. Okay. Now when we go through the assessment, we need to know what really did happen so that we can plan for future occurrences.
Now, assessing the damage, do you have a dollar amount that you've kind of established as far as the damage goes? I know a lot of damage was done to both the Ma'alaya and the Haina harbors. Can you talk a little bit about that?
We are assessing the damage. We do not have a dollar amount. A lot of the damage is not visual. A lot of the damage is underground, and when we start looking at what is happening, we're going to find and get reports back. For instance, Kamoli area, a lot of the sand eroded off the beaches. So we're going to have to replace a lot of that. What are the costs to replace all the sand and the cost of all the studies to do that?
Is there anything you think you would have changed about how the county handled this tsunami, or are you pretty satisfied?
Oh, there's always room for improvement. And we do know that we have a good system. Even though we have the information in every phone book, we're finding that a lot of people don't carry their phone books with them when they're running away from a tsunami. And for some reason, I can understand that. No, it's not the first thing I would grab. So we're going to have to find better ways to get that picture out. There are other areas that we can improve, and we're going to have to work a little bit better on. The sirens in some areas did not go off. In some instances, we had cases where people were not aware of what the dangers were.
So have you heard about a lot of community response? I've heard some local businesses getting involved in trying to raise money to help people who were affected by the tsunamis. Like Trilogy is actually doing a cleanup. Flatbread company in Paia has been raising funds for a boat that was actually sunk in one of the harbors. Have you heard of any other community efforts?
There are quite a few community efforts going on. There's also a lot of efforts to try and help Japan. You know, the Maui damage is not anywhere near as severe as what Japan had. So I understand the Japanese Chamber of Commerce is doing a major fund drive to try and help out. And also on the state level, we're working with the governor's office. We're coordinating with a lot of the banks to be able to raise funds to bring back to Japan. And there are some other fundraising efforts that are going on, too numerous to mention, really. But
really says a lot about the people of Maui County.
People really care.
Thank you very much, Mayor Alan Arcar, for taking the time out to talk with us today about tsunami awareness.
Well, thank you very much for making this presentation to the public and making the public aware. Again, I want to take this opportunity to thank everyone in Maui County for all of their cooperation and all of the personnel that we had for all of the fine work that was done. And if we all stick together, we continue to make Maui the best place in the world to live. And it's times like this that really bring out the best in our community. So I know a lot of other people are being very appreciative of what happened here, and I know I am. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Give me sweet, sweet kisses all day, and then I'll repay you with a little bit of love now. Come on and move with me, then we can shake, shake, shake on the mango tree. Oh, that sweet juice of fruit dripping down your face, shimmering in the sun. Taking it in all day, couldn't think of a better place where I squeeze you tight. Oh, this beautiful lifestyle we live, we like to play, whether it's sunny or rainy out. Yeah, spending every minute with you, embracing the moment.